I always said that I wanted an even number of children. And honestly, I didn't realize how emotionally attached that I was to the idea until it started to change. Because in my head, it made sense. All made sense. Four had felt like balance. He felt complete. He felt settled. So if I had the one, then I must have the two. So when I had my third one, that happened. And okay, we have to have the fourth child. That was what was going on in my head. I just can't have an odd number, right? And it was just a picture that I carried for years without even questioning it. No, yeah, we just have kids. We have a four-piece cake. We divide it equally, whatever that is. And then something shifted recently. And I realized that I wasn't just attached to my children, right? I was attached to the shape of the life that I thought we would always have. This is just going to be it, like four, like with like that's, we're always going to be together and be there. And then the kids grow and then they make up their mind. They don't want to do the activity or whatever. And I think sometimes we quietly build emotional attachment to a version of a life without even realizing what we've done. And and it's not just the people, it's not just the love, it is also the structure, the rhythm, the picture in our head of yeah, how we see things. And mine was always this even number family. Everybody has paired up, right? Everyone's balanced, everyone's connected. We're two, 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 right? It just made sense for me emotionally. And I never stopped to ask myself why. It just became part of the story I carried. I've got these four humans. And then when one of my kids now left, or there was a trip that was happening, it's the basketball, or they're doing stuff with friends, they're not wanting to do with us. Life started opening up, things started changing, and all of a sudden the house just feels different when the one person's missing or this one's out. Difference as in not bad. It was just different. What I thought it was going to be wasn't how it's now happening, what's going on. And I think this is when it hit me that one day all these boys are going to leave. One day, this loud, noisy, full house is going to become quieter. Yeah. And honestly, I do not think I emotionally let myself feel that before to actually get that. Yeah. And what has surprised me the most was realizing that there was grief sitting inside underneath it all. When one of my kids had to move for school. Yeah, it was odd. Like when we had that extra piece of whatever it was that we're either having, eating, or doing, and there was that one out. It's not that it's not grief because something wasn't wrong. It's not that kind. It's grief because life was changing shape. Things were looking different now. And I think sometimes we don't realize how attached we are. We attach becoming to the version of a life we imagined, we dreamed about, and how we thought it would be, and the plan, the picture, the identity, how this is us. The things that we quietly told ourselves, this is what settles looks like. This is what It is. And I've realized something else too. I think looking, been looking at life through the lens of now, not the bigger picture anymore. Because when you are in the middle of raising kids, everything feels permanent, right? The mess, the noise, the chit-chat, the routine, the chaos, oh, the chaos. And you think this is how life is and how it's always going to be sometimes. But children grow. They evolve, people evolve, things change, families shift, dynamics. But life keeps moving. It's a realization, having, gosh, who would have thought I have an adult child? And all of a sudden I realized that maybe the odd number was never the problem. It wasn't the odd number that was my issue. Maybe it was just I was just emotionally holding on to certainty, like this is how things are. I think that's what it is. And when I really look at it, it's letting go of that picture felt softer than I expected with that realization. Because once I stopped clinging into the exact shape of what I thought it needed to take, I could actually appreciate the life that is in front of me right now than what I had in my head. The boys, the moments we are spending together and things we're doing, the growth that is happening, the change that is happening for us. And it's not the version, maybe the version that I planned, but it's the version that is real for us right now. So yeah. And I think this goes so much deeper than children. I think that a lot of people are quietly grieving a version of life that they thought they would have by now. The relationship, the career, the timeline, the family structure, the version of themselves they imagined. And sometimes healing looks like just releasing the picture without rejecting the life that actually arrived. So maybe your reminder today is the plan you carried isn't the only version of life that gets to be beautiful. And sometimes peace begins the moment you stop trying to force the life to match the picture you'd made up years ago. And it just hits you, drop in a comment, because I genuinely want to know what plan you have been quietly holding on to. And I'll see you in the next one. I am Nene, and we do this every single day. Remember that your voice matters and it's your time to use it. Bye for now.